thought we were going to move away from controversial talk, but man, this is controversial in itself. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
In an interview with Sariah Wilson, I believe she's USA Today. I think that's what I read. I hope so, maybe something like that. Anyway, she had a one-on-one interview with Rian Johnson, and he stated that his trilogy is still in development. And when I saw that, I was like, here we go again. We're going to have just arguing on Twitter. Always fun to see, sarcastically saying there. But what I wanted to do first is I wanted to share why I think it could happen. Rian Johnson getting his trilogy. And I've kind of mapped out my points here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and dive into them. And then I'll ask you, Zach, why you, if you can think of anything else, why you think it could also possibly happen still. So the first one that I've got is I really genuinely think that if Rian Johnson got his own trilogy, that he had the resources, the ability to map out himself away from legacy characters, away from the Skywalker saga, I think it would be beautiful. And it would probably be a great story from start to finish. And I think everyone, regardless of where you're at regarding the sequel trilogy, all of us would have preferred a better story from beginning to end. And I like the idea of having one writer, producer to map that out and to finally get that. So that was my first reason why I still think it could happen, is the idea that he could deliver a great movie. I mean, we've seen it with Knives Out, and you name it. Knives Out's the only one that I'm thinking. I think Looper. Yeah,
Looper's fire, Brick.
One. Yeah.
Fire. I mean, he has proven himself. He is a freaking good director.
Yes.
Okay.
He is.
He has proven it. He's great. He's a good mind. I completely agree. I'm kind of getting ahead of you here, but
no, that's fine.
I completely agree that he has the chops to do this. And I love the idea of being kind of his brain coming up with it, his team, and running it through the trilogy.
Yeah.
George Lucas style, right? You know, you get some other players in there, sure, but it's you need a captain for the ship. You got to have it. We've talked about it before.
Yes.
You got to have it. We expect it now. The MCU really has spoiled us, right?
Yes,
They've really spoiled us that they just hit after hit because they have the vision. They have the Kevin Feige.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there going to be another Kevin Feige? I don't know. I don't think so. Not for a long time.
Man. We'll see.
So if you don't have to be Kevin Feige, we just need a captain. We just need a leader. We need a guy where people have questions and you have an answer. And I think Rian Johnson could be that guy.
Okay, fair. No, I like that. Second reason why I think it could happen is I think if it's going to happen, it could happen like 10 plus years from now, kind of like with the prequel trilogy. I mean, after we saw Revenge of the Sith, we thought it was all over, but then here we were again 10, 15 years later, and they made something new. Like when the prequels were coming out, people despised them, and they were like, Star Wars is dead. Essentially the same conversation we're still having right now. So yeah. I think it's possible later. Like when this comes out, I'm not looking at it like, oh, Rian Johnson's doing it right now. It's coming out next year. Like that's not the case. I'm thinking at least 10 years if this happens, because, man, they have mapped out like a ton of other projects.
And he used the words in development, or they used the words in development. Right. What does that mean? Did he write down new Star Wars trilogy on a piece of paper and it's in development, baby?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to say he's lying or something like that, but we don't know. He very well could have a full script and he's ready to rock. Like it could be the complete opposite. We don't know. 10 years. I don't know. I may have to disagree with you. I think it might be sooner than that.
Sooner. Okay.
But the only thing that's pulling me back is we know that Star Wars, they're at least trying to map all this out now. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think they're going to use the words Rian Johnson for a little while. Not because he's bad, but because people associate that with Last Jedi / disappointment / whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of sad because I believe that they saw The Last Jedi and they actually liked it a lot, right? They liked the risk he took. They let him take them. They're like, here's this trilogy because you were baller. And then it comes out and then, hey, not everyone liked this.
Right.
And so they had to rein it back. And that it just sucks because they already showed their cards.
Yeah.
And it got me hyped up because I was like, oh, here we go, man. He's getting his own thing. See The Last Jedi. And then,
Right.
so I don't know. 10 years, you're probably right, honestly. I
Hey,
mean, you're probably right.
my guess is good as yours.
But I'd say at least 5 years,
Okay.
right? 5 years. We're in 2020, 2028.
Yeah.
And we're getting out there, right?
Yeah.
So I think it'll, be able to reset the palette for some people. They're going to be the people that remember, I remember The Last Jedi.
Right.
It's like the prequels. You watch the prequels now, and even people who hated them are like, yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Instead of this, I hate this. So,
right. No, and I agree with that. And you kind of got into my next thing there as far as like Lucasfilm with their announcement. Like, obviously, they can't really do much with that right now. And I think that does leave the opportunity open because they haven't denied it. They haven't come out and say, oh, Rian Johnson's trilogy is no longer happening. I think they're doing that on purpose just because they're probably not 100% sure what direction they're going in right now as far as his trilogy goes.
No, I think the answer is Disney Plus. They're not even touching movies at this point, really. I mean, they'll talk about, I'm sure we've got a movie planned, blah, 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 but their main focus and their main thing is Disney Plus. One reason, Mandalorian, right? Why talk about some director that everyone doesn't love when you have this golden child of Mandalorian?
Agreed.
You want every conversation to lead back to Mandalorian somehow. So you ain't gonna hear about it,
right? And we do have like two incredibly talented directors currently working on their own Star Wars film in Taika Waititi and Patty Jenkins, both who have in the nerd culture, I guess you could say, made great movies. So they really don't have any need to force Rian Johnson when they know it's probably just gonna divide some more.
Exactly, and there's almost not a hotter name right now than Taika Waititi.
Yes,
I mean it's close.
Yeah,
because he is just dropping these hits, man, and he's so good. He is so good. So I'm very excited.
I'm trying to think of somebody I might want to see other than Taika, and I don't know.
Because you don't know what you're going to get, man. It may be the craziest Star Wars movie we've ever seen in terms of fantastical, fanatical, sci-fi, just crazy stuff. Thor Ragnarok. You kidding me?
Yeah.
That shouldn't have worked. And it did. I keep pulling in the MCU. I know.
No, that's
sorry. A Star Wars
got
podcast.
That shirt on, dude. It's all good.
It's coming out of me. It's their marketing.
And we just got done watching WandaVision here, so I'm all Marvel right now.
Yeah, literally just watched WandaVision as well. So yeah, but going back to Taika, like I said, they've touched on the movies, sure, but that ain't their focus, man. That ain't it. I don't want to even really hear about the movies. We did the sequel trilogy. Not everyone loved it. Everyone loves Mandalorian, and guess what? We're getting Boba Fett. We're getting Rangers. We're getting Ahsoka.
And who knows what else?
And who knows? All these other crazy shows that who knows what they're going to be. And that's why I think you ain't going to hear nothing about this, at least for a little while.
Yeah, so I do think that those are all great reasons, in my opinion, and you added some great pieces in there, too, as to why I still think we could get this trilogy. I just don't think right now is the right time to proceed with at least announcing
They don't need it.
Yeah.
They don't need it.
And then I also want to share, though, real quickly, why I personally don't think it's going to happen. And we've already kind of touched on it, so I'll do these kind of real quickly. It's hard for me to get on board with producing a trilogy, let alone one movie, behind someone that as soon as they announce it, half the fan base is going to hate it, the other half is going to love it. So and here's my second point: Disney is in the business of making money. I've said that so many times on the show. And
it's all about the Benjamins. Come on now.
Why would they make a movie when they know half the audience isn't gonna want to support it? I don't know. Those are my two big reasons why I don't think it's gonna happen.
And who's to say they have this thing that we discussed called Disney Plus? Who's to say they don't drop it on there? And maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to separate TV and Disney Plus and theatrical stuff. But why not? Just do it, baby. Just let them make it. Plop it on there. If people like it, boom.
Yeah.
If people hate it, who cares?
Right.
Like,
Well, and to be fair, even though people are divisive with The Last Jedi, that is still $1 billion movie in the box office.
exactly.
So,
Ryan Johnson said, hears you say Disney likes making money. He goes, oh, that? Yeah, I made a lot of money on my
yeah,
last one, right?
yeah,
Um,
more
we
than
won't get into
Rise of Skywalker,
why,
but
but yeah. And so to be fair, you made a great point. Like you can't really go off that because you're like, oh my God, how much money you make? Oh, all right.
yeah. Yeah, now I do real quickly, and I was just having fun with this. Like today when I was making these notes, I was like, you know what? There's actually an idea that I have here that we could incorporate Ryan Johnson in. So here's my solution. Here's an idea that I think Disney should consider. Give Ryan Johnson one episode to direct in a Mando verse show. It could be Mandalorian, Rangers, Ahsoka, doesn't matter. But don't leak that information. So hold to your chest the fact that Ryan Johnson is directing that episode and wait until the fans watch the credits, because at that point they would have already decided, man, I love that episode, and they would be shocked when they saw directed by Ryan Johnson, and everybody would be like, okay, maybe we should give him a second chance. There's
So
my
I'm
solution.
all in on that.
Okay.
I'm all in. The chips are all in, but I change it. I say announce it.
Okay.
You know, just boom, episode whatever, written by blah blah blah, John Favreau, Ryan Johnson.
Mhm.
Boom, drop it. Let everyone get the blah blah blahs out of their mouth,
Okay.
and they're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna watch it, and
Yeah.
especially if they make it like penultimate episode or just a episode that you gotta watch.
Mhm.
Like they could do that, and I love that idea actually.
Okay.
Just give him an episode because I believe he's directed TV before.
Yeah.
Quote me if I'm wrong. I think he did Breaking
He did
Bad. He
Breaking
did the
Bad.
Fly episode,
Yes.
which again, kind of weird, kind of divisive, sort of,
Yeah.
but some call it one of the best episodes ever, like
Right.
because of how crazy it is. So let him do it. Perfect example of this, Dave Filoni, right?
Mhm.
Dave Filoni, not the same in terms of divisive or whatever, but letting him do something to prove to us he's got it.
Right.
Because people need to, again, get the taste out of their mouth of Last Jedi. He needs to prove to people. He doesn't need to prove it. Guess what? He's really good. But to some people, he needs to prove it, right?
Yeah.
And that could be his chance to prove it. Give him an episode. Oh my God, it's an amazing episode. Guess what? He's doing his trilogy still.
Yeah. I think
I don't
that's
know.
an avenue, and I think that's a possibility that, I mean, if I was at Lucasfilm, I would have already pitched that idea. I don't know if they're thinking
Yeah.
about it. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Tweet at Disney. You tweet at him right now.
Yeah.
Mando talk. Give Ryan Johnson an episode of blah blah blah. You're
Yeah.
in. Boom.
And we'll see what happens with it, because let's be fair. Although, yes, it sounds like you're big on Disney Plus TV shows for Star Wars, obviously that wouldn't hurt their bank as much if they were to just throw him into their movie. So just go
100%.
for it. Just throw him in there,
Do
see
it,
what
man.
happens.
Let him write the episode.
Yeah.
I don't freaking care.
Yeah.
Just I want it to be good. That's all I care about. End of the day, I want to be entertained.
Agreed.
I don't give a crap who does it.
I want good Star
Right.
Wars. I mean, I think that's what we all want.
Yeah. So okay, Ryan Johnson. No. If it's good, great. If it sucks, yeah, get the pitchforks out. Sorry, hot
Fair
take,
enough.
boys. Getting me fired up on Ryan Johnson now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because I know how good he is. I loved Knives Out.
I did too.
It was so good, man. And Looper's great too. Weird, yeah, it's a little weird,
Yeah.
but it's great. So I don't know. I just want to love Star Wars, and I want everyone to love it as well.
Mhm.
So it's hard to it keeps coming up, and then this lady's just doing her job,
Right.
getting these questions out of him, and he drops a little tidbit and everyone freaks out again. It's like, yeah, we'll see it in
Yes,
10
again.
years. Quote Keller.
Right. There you go. There you go. Okay, now